It's recording. On June 23rd, 2009, Officer Henry Canales and his partner were conducting an undercover investigation regarding stolen TVs. Him and his partner decided to approach four suspects, and in the exchange of money, one of the suspects opened fire and fatally killed Officer Henry Canales. He was part of the Houston Police Department, for 16 years. He was survived by his spouse, and he left behind a daughter and a son. Death benefits that are paid out to surviving spouses and children is only 75%, and with children, it stops at the age of 18. So, with the rising cost of living, tuition, anything that a child needs past the age of 18, we all know, it's a burden for the other spouse left behind to bear to support these children. Fortunately, there's a way that you guys can help. In 1996, a man named Chris Cosgrove, he was a freshman in college. He started a foundation called Officer Down Memorial. He started this because after reading an article in the Washington Post, he read about a man who had killed two police officers in the line of duty, and they were basically, he actually only served 16 years, the man that killed the two officers, and it just was not fair to watch a man walk away after 16 years of serving time, and meanwhile two men, that gave their lives were gone. Um, his site that he created has 250,000 visitors a day. It's one of the most well-respected sites in law enforcement. www.odmp.org. If you go to the website, it'll give you a history of how it was founded. It'll give you a lot of facts and ways that you can donate money and help the survivors of fallen officers. The number one issue that families face when a relative or family member is passed on is that, especially the children, they suffer long-term issues. An article called "What Happens to the Children of Fallen Officers," it was printed in the Police magazine, dated October 2009. It states that one of the main things children suffer from is memory loss, anger, and hurt. And it requires a lot of therapy. The therapy is anywhere between $150 to $350 an hour. So that's very expensive. Health insurance benefits only cover a percentage of that, and that can get really costly for families. There's also a camp. It's called COPS Summer Camp, and this provides mentors for children and surviving spouses and helps them cope with grief issues. The ways that you can get involved is that there's an annual bike ride that takes place in Virginia and in Pennsylvania. There's also a National Police Week 5K that they do every year. And there's a 65-mile motorcycle ride that starts in Virginia. So all of these programs help raise money to give into this organization for these families that have lost their loved ones in the line of duty. If you don't like physical activity or getting involved with a lot of people, there's also an online store that you can donate to and purchase memorabilia. They have bracelets and t-shirts and stuff that you can dedicate to a fallen officer. These funds actually go to organizations and websites such as No Parole for cop killers. That's a huge issue. They sometimes are eligible to come up for parole, and a lot of people don't know that the more you give into these sites, that it will keep them behind bars. There's also a survivors benefits database that you basically help guide people into, when you lose a family member, you're in shock and you need help in what to do and where to go to get money for whatever the things it is that you need. And there's also a site for concerns of police survivors, and that's also another way to provide immediate assistance to families that go through such tragedies. How you can help is go to www.odmp.org and become a member. Some of the fees are as low as $25, one-time donation. You can donate as much as, however much you want. And it's all tax deductible, so you can write it off at the end of the year. There's also, as mentioned before, you can join the 5Ks, the bike rides, or whatever it is, and that also helps raise funds. Fact about police officers, that an officer is killed every 53 hours. Chris Cosgrove, the ODPM founder, says that when a police officer is killed, it's not only an agency that loses an officer, it's an entire nation. So I'm just asking to please remember the men and women that, are victims of such horrible tragedies, and help the officers down Memorial page by sparing a very small cost to you guys, and just so they know that they're not forgotten. We all know that Social Security benefits don't last forever, and like I said, once the child turns 18, there's nothing that you can do past that. And that's pretty much it, to make a difference in the lives of the officers and all the survivors. So, that's it.
Good. Yeah.